Hello and welcome to the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. Live tonight from Silverstone Circuit here in the UK. 3.66 mile historic race course with 18 corners. This is race 2 of 10 on the season. And again, sprint race format going to be the standard here tonight. Drivers in a smaller field tonight, just 11 drivers out here on track this evening. Looking to capitalize on the limited field size and maybe take a victory. These are the GT4 machines. Jonathan DeCoucher currently sits fastest in the qualifying session. You see him right on screen, that Porsche Cayman 718 GT4 machine. We've also got some brand new Mercedes AMG cars out here as well. A few BMW M4s on track as well. Brian Kennedy goes to the top of the charts in his Mercedes. The 2:11.029, a couple of tenths quicker than Jonathan DeCoucher. But looking forward to another great night of racing here in this league, and excited you can join us out here for it. And make sure to like and subscribe if you do enjoy the broadcast tonight, and we hope you do. Tonight's race is presented by SEO Mike and Beltway Brewing Company. You'll see them down in the bottom right of the screen. You can learn more about them at the video description, as well as at the halfway break in tonight's event. We will ride on board here with the number 77 of Brian Kennedy as we are getting close to wrapping up the qualifying session. And we'll take you around this historic racetrack, as well as have the track map up as they come across the stripe right here. Turn number 1, the right-hand corner. If you watch F1, that's where Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen got together last season. Max went sliding off into the barrier, and the Brian Kennedy into the kind of S's right here. Good job getting that car pointed in the right direction. Back to the right. A little bit of handling the wheel there. Back to the left, down the straightaway. Back to the right here at the end of that long stretch. Back to the left, back to the right, lower speed corners. Back on the throttle hard. And there you go, there is a lap right there. We're looking at the 2-minute 11-second mark in this qualifying session. DeCoucher 2/10 off. Clint Fletcher also just about 2/10 off. Both Clint Fletcher and DeCoucher have been the quickest for most of this session. Mike Nickum another 7/10 back in the 4th position, behind the 69 of Clint Fletcher, and then Justin Craig in the top 5. So just 11 drivers in here tonight. But looking forward to some exciting racing. The smaller field sizes have not meant smaller action, as it looks like Brian Kennedy going to pull off there. The drivers still putting in good lap times. Callan Crocker going to jump up to 4th there in the final few seconds of the qualifying session. Let's go to our starting grid here tonight from Silverstone to see who your top qualifiers are. Rolling off from the front row tonight, it is going to be Brian Kennedy taking the pole time here. Top 15 qualifiers earning points. That means everybody gets points here tonight. Brian Kennedy going to be starting in that first spot. Jonathan DeCoucher rolling off from 2nd here tonight. Starting in the 3rd position, Clint Fletcher. Rolling off 4th, Callan Crocker. Starting in the 5th position, Mike Nickum. Starting 6th, Justin Craig. Rolling off 7th is going to be Jaka Vilik. We've his first race back in the car this season, just race number 2, so he missed the opener, but back tonight. Michael Pabolano rolling off from the 8th spot. Expect him to move forward throughout the night. Dean Tulane starting in 9th here. Jesse Brannon going to roll off in the 10th position. And Scott Kim rounds out the field in the 11th spot here tonight. 2 20-minute sprint races will be the format tonight. The field will be inverted after race number 1. That means the winner is going to have to start from the rear in that second race. Makes things a bit interesting and really a cool format change that they implemented this season. I know they're always looking for people to get in and racing here. If you're interested, check them out under the leagues on iRacing. BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. Looking forward to a good one here tonight. Brian Kennedy's going to have control of the field. The team gas burn number 77, that red Mercedes AMG GT4. Here to cheer on your favorite driver. Know who you're rooting for. Try and follow along with them throughout the race tonight. Not too many guys in the field, so we should be able to catch most of the action here from Silverstone for race number 2. Field working through that final corner here under pace conditions. 77 in the 5, out in front, waiting to get things going. Green flag is out, and we're off and away. Headed down into turn number 1. Jonathan DeCoucher with a pretty good jump right there. He's going to take the lead on the outside line, and 77 of Brian Kennedy not getting going, and around goes Callan Crocker. Off into the barriers. Callan Crocker with problems early on. He gained spots there, and then he lost it all as the car goes around. Let's take a look at that replay quickly for Callan Crocker as he goes to the back of the field. Loses the back end right there. Goes sliding off into the barrier, catches the right side. Able to keep it rolling here though. Looks like it could be a little bit damaged. He's a little slow. Still rolling out here and hoping for things to happen for drivers in front of him, but it is all Jonathan DeCoucher as he leads lap number 1. An advantage almost 2 seconds there in the first lap, so that 5 machine is flying out here. He's been very fast since he's appeared in the league. Behind him, it's all stacked up. Brian Kennedy, Clint Fletcher, Michael Pavlano has moved up already 4 positions, so the number 8 machine, a driver to keep your eyes on. Look at this, getting a good run. Clint Fletcher, oh, he just about gets into him. Started to lose the back end of his race car right there. Had to check up and lost a lot of momentum. Here comes Justin Craig behind him. The hang loose racing number 208 Mercedes. Jesse Brandon behind him. Mike Nickum as well. Jakub Bielik, Dean Tulin, Scott Kim picking up the top 10, and then about 7 seconds back to Callan Crocker, who has not brought it to pit road, so he's good to go. Good stuff out here. This is the first race that I believe these guys have run in this league at this racetrack. So how about this battle for 5th? Brandon works to driver's right. A little contact there through the final corner. He's going to let him keep that position. And it looks like actually Justin Craig with maybe an off-track penalty right there. Going to have to give up a little bit of time, and he is going to lose a lot of positions as there goes Jakub Bielik. Here comes Mike Nickum, rather Dean Tulin took a peek to driver's right. Not going to happen just yet. That battle is on for second, though. 2 seconds behind Jonathan DeCoucher. When Fletcher putting that pressure on Brian Kennedy there. Fletcher, that 69 car. I think he calls it the wrecking ball. He's got Miley Cyrus all over it, but he is working on second position. He doesn't want to be too big of a wrecking ball here. I know there's penalties that they're giving out for these races. Got to be careful who you get into out here. Definitely encourage clean racing and clean passing, as it looks like Brian Kennedy pretty well hooked up right now. That time he's closed up just a little bit on Jonathan DeCoucher. But DeCoucher's so good in this early section of the racetrack, and he's got no real pressure. Brian Kennedy a little bit off the line there. These AMG GT4s with those big noses. Definitely a little bit more front heavy as Pavolano, the potentially more nimble BMW M4, trying to keep up. It's just not the straight line speed. That AMG GT4, the newest addition to iRacing. See just a little bit understeer there from the aid of Pavolano. Further back, Jesse Brannon leads a line of race cars. That is Mike Nickum right behind him, 57. And Yakov Bielik, Justin Craig, Dean Tulin, and Scott Kim all still in tow here. Within 10 seconds of the race leader here. We goes in on 5 minutes completed in this race. It is all de Kucher out in front now, over 2 seconds. So Pavolano a little bit wide there. This is a view back from Brian Kennedy. You see Clint Fletcher right in tow. On that 69 machine, trying to make the move here potentially at the end of this straight. Now he'll hang right in line. Will Brannon be able to close up as those guys continue to battle? He's about 4 seconds. Make that 3 seconds actually behind Michael Pavolano, but he's got his own battle on his hands. The 57 of Mike Nickum trying to set him up. Good stuff so far in this one. And no, there goes Brannon around. Oh, hard in the wall. Oh man, he's gonna have to get that thing back rolling here, but let's take a look at the replay. Just clipped the sand right there, and then a big hit. That was Jesse Brannon, actually, not Mike Nickum. On the wrong race car there. Let's take a look here, the 333. Lost the back end, and then slammed that wall, driver's side. Get it towed back to pit road, though. He'll have to make up for it in race 2, and should be starting on the front row in that one. He finishes right at the back where he sits right now. Battle for second not letting up, though, as that battle for fifth has kind of settled out now with Brannon going around. Pavolano just not able to keep pace with those guys for the moment. A couple of tenths slower. Justin Craig, Yakov Bielik fighting it out here for 6th position. Now these Mercedes looking pretty strong, but the Porsche machine of Jonathan de Kucher, he is very quick here in the opening bit. Lost a little bit of time here, though, this last few corners. Brian Kennedy starting to really put the power down now, and he's run what is his best lap of the race the last time around. Burns fuel off, the car gets a little bit lighter, maybe the balance a bit better in that Mercedes. Fletcher still right here behind him, both of them closing up good lap times, fastest cars on the racetrack. And just a little over halfway through this thing. Get these two working together like this, can get a little bit of draft going and actually work their way towards the race leader. That seems to be the case. See what the lap times are this time across the stripe. It's under 1.6 seconds. Kucher with a... waiting for the lap times to roll in here. Not too sure what the lap times are. It doesn't look like they've updated for us this time. That is your battle for seconds. No other real battles at the moment other than go back a little bit farther. Justin Craig starting to close up on Mike Nickum. He's gotten away from Yakov Bielik by almost 2 seconds. So the 2:08 on the move. Started in 6th, running in 6th. Biggest mover so far in this one. Gotta be Michael Pavolano, up 4 positions. Got those all really in the first few corners, and he's been doing a good job here. hanging tough. Not quite the pace of those top three, but definitely quicker than everyone behind him. Out in front this time, DeKucher a 2:11.4 behind him. The Mercedes drivers in the 2:10, 6/10 quicker. If they continue that pace, it'll be 2 laps and they will be there. DeKucher starting to lose the handle on that Porsche just a little bit. Brian Kennedy, I think, a little bit wide there. Previous corner. Trying to get to the front, has not led any laps in this one, even capturing the pole. Did not get rolling very well. I think maybe started potentially in the wrong gear even. He is making up for it right now. The power of that Mercedes reeling him in. Tires now heated up. Fletcher behind him. These two working together, using that draft. They chop it down another 2/10 across the stripe there. For some reason, I'm only getting lap times every other lap. I don't know what's going on with that. Gusher out in front, still hanging on to a gap, though. He's got half the race leaded. Got to hang on for the second half, and the second and third place drivers slowly reeling him in. Michael Poblano even starting to close up just a little bit farther back. Callan Crocker, Dean Tulane, as Crocker trying to make up positions. His issue early on, spinning the race car. Moves into 8th spot. Tulane falls to 9th, right where he started the night. Jesse Brandon back on the racetrack, has used his fast repair, the 333, trying to salvage what he can. Hoping other drivers encounter some issues here, but he'll get, either way, he'll get points for an 11th place finish, and really argue with that. Justin Craig has now closed up to about a half second behind Mike Nickum. That battle for 5th closing up. Second and third continuing to slice into the leader's lead here, but not by a whole lot, only 0.04 of a second last lap. And Jakusher really good first couple corners. He extends it out by a couple of tenths, but it seems like he is starting to struggle, especially the second half of this track with the straightaways. Porsche just doesn't have the horsepower that the AMG does, and straight line speed. It starts to lose all of that, but you can see you guys really doing a fantastic job keeping their composure, closing in on the leader, trying to knock it under a second distance here. I hope everybody is enjoying so far. I know a small field, but it's been good racing, even amongst just the 11 drivers out here. And you can see, you know, not everybody, they're not all that far apart from each other, and that is great to see. How about this? They closed up big time the last few corners here, down that straightaway. The horsepower just proving to be too much. And now Brian Kennedy is there. He's just 2 or 3 car lengths behind DeKucher, feeling that pressure. As we have a swap for position, Mike Nickum, Justin Craig swapping spots. Craig goes into 5th, Nickum falls to 6th. 2 Mercedes battle it out right there, but at the front, the battle for the lead is on. That time 9/10 quicker for Brian Kennedy, and he almost misses turn number 1, just a little late on entry. He'll start to get a little bit of that aero push now that he's behind the 5. But you can see just any time there's full throttle sections, that Mercedes is so strong. And Clint Fletcher has come right with him. This is going to be one of those two, I think, taking this race away from DeKucher. He's going to have to defend masterfully here. Not sure he's going to be able to do it. A different approach there for the 77 and the 69 as they try and get set up. You can see the line's so different for those cars. Just doesn't have the same kind of handling. But if they can at least stay close. Is what they're hoping for. This section, a pretty good section right here. Almost some bump drafting going on. 77 looking in his mirror, just misses his marks a little bit right there. Able to recover nicely, but they are losing time in this section, no doubt about it. A little Porsche doing a great job. And a little bit squirrely there for Brian Kennedy, and that might even open the door for Clint Fletcher. They work onto the straightaway here. Still, they're just working nose to tail. A bump draft down into the corner here. It's fun stuff. Battle, you know, not often you'll see three cars like this battling for the lead, especially road racing. Kusher really quick in the early stages of this race. Brian Kennedy's found the handle though, and he's brought Clint Fletcher with him. 6 seconds back is Michael Pavolano, securely in the 4th position, and then 5 seconds behind him, Justin Craig, Mike Nickum, a couple seconds behind them, Jakob Bielak. So, wow, look at that. Controlled slide, look at the move here. Down into the corner goes Brian Kennedy, sends it in, gets the spot. And can DeKusher try and take it back? The 5 car stacking them up there. Clint Fletcher closed up to his bumper. But Brian Kennedy takes the top spot. Great move by the 77. Go back and take a look at what happened right there from another angle. He really sent it down in the braking zone here. And look at that. He just drove it in, got it slowed down. Able to keep it nicely in that lane, and the 5 car couldn't make the crossover move. Go back to the point here. Brian Kennedy has the lead in 2nd place now. Clint Fletcher, who's going to try and put that pressure on. He's been right there with Brian Kennedy. Just 3.5 minutes left in this thing. That's 2 more laps. Brian Kennedy to get a sprint race win. Really good stuff out here for the race lead. Jonathan DeKusher muster anything here to get that spot back. Top 3 racing it up. There you see Michael Pavolano a little farther back. BMW M4. And here comes Clint Fletcher. He goes to the driver's right. Going to try and take the lead away. He will take the lead. Brian Kennedy, though, trying to work back around the outside. Pushing that car really hard. Still side by side. Now he'll settle in behind the 69. Clint Fletcher to the top of the boards. Brian Kennedy do anything to get him back. He'll have the toe on the straights. It seems to be really good on these Mercedes. And DeKusher's still right there. You never know what can happen. 2 laps to go. Clint Fletcher clearly has the pace here tonight. He was one of the quickest in the practice session, if not the quickest. Now leading a lap out in front. He's pulling away already 3/4 of a second in front of Brian Kennedy, but one mistake could change all of that. Top 4 on the same straightaway. There you see Justin Craig making good time as well. He's actually running very consistent laps. Mike Nickum just as quick as these top few drivers as well. So maybe in race number 2 they'll have figured things out a little bit more and be very competitive. They'll actually start in front of these leaders. The field's going to get flip-flopped. It'll be 1 lap to go next time around. Fletcher is still hanging tough here, about 6 tenths out in front. Brian Kennedy, really good in certain parts of this racetrack, though. That 77 had the speed here. Can he make it happen in the last lap and a half? He'll be on the straightaway here. He'll get a little bit of a tow. We'll gain about a tenth there, but that makes it harder in the braking zone. You can see the 69 able to turn in a little bit better, a little bit cleaner there. A couple more corners and back to the white flag. A little farther back, Callan Crocker, Mike Nickham. Crocker pushing that race car so hard in this race. He knew he made a mistake early on there. Went all the way back to 11th. He's up to 7th now, trying to get 6th away, and his teammate just a couple seconds in front of there. So he has really got the speed tonight. I would expect Callan Crocker could be a factor in race number 2 this evening. 123. The biggest mover by far, that is Michael Pavellano in this race. Up 4 spots, gained those all on lap 1. He's settled in. He'll get some nice points here. And Fletcher trying to hang on for sprint race number 1. He's led 2 laps here. Brian Kennedy behind him. We'll have Jonathan DeCoucher take a peek to driver's left. Doesn't make it work that time, but plays a little role in slowing up the 77 for sure. Still about 3/4 of a lap yet to go. The gap is under a half second. Brian Kennedy, a good sequence of corners right there. He gets it down to 4 tenths now. 3.5 tenths. The power of that 77 down the straightaway. Burns in nicely. He's going to have to push that car even harder this lap. Gap still just about 3.5 tenths as they start to go through a little bit of an S section here. He closes up, putting that pressure on, but he's going to have to check up a little bit here. The dirty air from the 69. Now onto the straightaway. This is a good opportunity. Get just a little closer. Fakes to the right. Not going to be close enough to make the move. They've got another short stretch here and then a couple more corners. This will be for sprint race number 1, coming down to the 2 Mercedes drivers. And Brian Kennedy is right there, man. He can taste it. Gonna have to be perfect here. Set up the last couple corners. He's not gonna be close enough. It's gonna be Clint Fletcher taking the victory in sprint race 1, and he gets pile driven across the stripe there. Brian Kennedy 2nd, DeCoucher 3rd. Michael Pavellano, he'll come home in 4th. Justin Craig, good race from him. He'll come home 5th. His teammate in 6th got around Mike Nickham. Comes home in 7th. Heck of Belak. Ian Tulane also not too far behind. Scott Kim, looking like he'll come home in 10th. Jesse Brannon still circulating out there. He'll finish in 11th. So Pavellano finishes in the 4th position. We're gonna pull him in as he was the biggest mover in race number 1. We can pull him into the booth real quickly here as we head towards the halfway break. Michael Pavellano, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Adam, yeah, I do.
Hey, man. Yeah, doing great and looking pretty quick out there yourself tonight. You come home 4th in race 1. You gained the most spots of anybody. You know, these GT4 machines, not the easiest to keep, you know, the momentum up, but you're doing a good job and obviously had a great race. You learn anything there that you can take into race 2?
Yeah, I learned that I can't keep up with Clint, Brian, and John. They were just out there. Yeah, I think it's just about tire management for race 2. I noticed towards the end there the tires were sort of giving up, so had to change the pace a little bit. But yeah, we'll give it a try. But you know, those 3 guys that finished in the podium, they were pretty fast today.
Yeah, definitely looking quick out there. You know, it's a little different with all these different cars on track. You know, we're used to seeing just BMWs, but you think there's any advantage with any of the cars out here? You think those Mercedes have a little more straight line speed?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not quite too sure yet. This is I've been off for a race or two, so I haven't really compared it. But it looked like the new Merc is pretty fast. So
Yeah, we'll see how they do. Those guys are starting behind you, though, in this second race, so we'll see if you can hold them off for a little while and keep yourself in it here. But good luck in race 2.
I will try. Thank you, Adam.
You. Michael Pavolano, 4th place finisher in race 1. He'll start in front of those podium finishers in that event coming up in a moment. We're going to go to the quick halftime break here. Here are a couple quick words from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Beltway Brewing Company is located in Sterling, Virginia, and proudly represents the DMV area. Check out their lineup of unique IPAs, lagers, sours, stouts, and even seltzers. Savory and delicious empanadas by Peruvian Brothers are now available in their tap room. For all things Beltway, go to beltwaybrewco.com and follow at Beltway Brew Co. on social media. SEO Mike helps businesses of all sizes achieve higher search engine rankings to drive more traffic and increase sales. Contact SEO Mike today for a free website evaluation and quote. Mention this ad for 15% off your initial setup. SEO Mike, marketing websites on the internet since 1997. Visit SEOMike.com.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
Back at the racetrack now. It's going to be inverted field to start things off in sprint race number 2. Jesse Brannon will have the pole here in this one. Then Scott Kim, Dean Tulin, Yakov Bielik, Mike Nickum, Callan Crocker, the front 3 rows. Work our way towards the start-finish line here. It'll be the 3-3-3 leading us back. Check up on the restart, and we're 4-5 wide. Cars going around. Hard in the wall goes the 1-2-3 of Callan Crocker, as well as others going into the wall there. That was Dean Tulin. Brian Kennedy, I think, also caught in that just a little bit. But big problems there, big stack up on the start. And that has allowed Jesse Brannon to get out in front by a few car lengths. Remember, he was very quick, but had his problems there in race number 1. Let's go back to the start and see what happened here with Callan Crocker. Get the chopper camera. He got a huge jump, got on the grass there, and then got clipped. Oh man, collecting a few others. Nickum involved, as well as Dean Tulin hard in the wall. Not what you want to see here to kick things off in race number 2. Some of the good drivers involved in that. Callan Crocker, I had some high expectations for him in this race, but kind of stepping on his own feet right there. As the battle is on for the second spot, Scott Kim, Michael Pavolano, and here comes DeKusher already back into the picture here, already up to third, started in 9th. And man, big mover already. He's gotten himself a little bit away from Brian Kennedy and Clint Fletcher. And Scott Kim still hanging tough in 4th. We'll see if he can keep up with these guys. Jakub Bielik, I think, got a little touch of damage there on the start. He's the one that the 123 of Callan Crocker came across. But man, what a wild start there, and early shaking things up. Here goes DeKusher now, going to make the move on Pavolano. We're going to try to down at the end of the straightaway here into the braking zone. The 8's going to give him that position for now. I think he realizes he's a little bit outmatched tonight, but either way, looking to try and get back-to-back solid finishes. Jesse Brannon doing what he can to try and hold on to this cushion. See what it looks like here after lap number 1. And DeKusher gained 7 spots in 1 lap. What a drive up through the field. Behind all of this, we've got a gaggle of race cars. Scott Kim, there goes Clint Fletcher going through the middle at 3 wide. The 77 of Brian Kennedy right here as well. He's trying to live to see another lap. He backs out a little bit. Bold move by Clint Fletcher though, as he tries to make the move on Scott Kim. Jakub Bielik here with Brian Kennedy side by side. The longer these guys race, the farther the top 2 and 3 pull away, as DeKusher back under fire from Michael Pavolano. The M4 machine, a little bit more power on this straightaway. He'll get alongside down into the braking zone. The 8 car, he'll take the 2nd spot back. The 5 tries to pull the crossover, not able to do it. That corner, as they both start to reel in Jesse Brannon. Exciting start here in this one. Brian Kennedy now just gets by. Jakub Bielik actually fighting back alongside. And Brian Kennedy definitely getting held up a little bit right here. He was very fast. Remember, the first 2 laps of that race, he lost a lot of time to Scott Kim and Jonathan DeKusher, but this might be too much to make up. Pavolano's closed up now. Jesse Brannon overshoots the corner just a little bit, tries to cut it back here. Actually gains quite a bit in that set of corners. Seems he may have figured it out. I think he might have underestimated himself in race number 1. Here comes DeKusher closing up though. Battle for the lead down into the sharp right-hander. It'll be Pavolano sending it down deep into the turn. They'll be side by side for the race lead. DeKusher right there behind them, doesn't take it 3 wide. Oh, and he gets into the back of Brannon. Sends him deep into the corner. That'll check up Pavolano. Meanwhile, that all helps everybody back here, but there goes Mike Nickum around. The 57, not sure if he made contact or what happened. He went sliding and caught the grass with the right wheels. Take a look at the replay here. What happened to him? Yeah, tried to avoid. Jakub Bielik ends up losing the race car. Gets it back rolling here, but back in 9th position. Got Kim in 7th, still fighting with these guys. Jakub Bielik will make the move around for 6th. Brian Kennedy has gotten through into the top 5. Clint Fletcher in 4th. And the top 3 a couple seconds up the road. They've been battling hard up here, and that has allowed Fletcher to definitely close up. Last time he was a second faster than the leader. Here goes the battle now for the race lead again. Pavolano looks low. Door gets shut in his face. Here comes DeKusher working the driver's right. He's got the preferred line in this corner. But man, what a battle here for the 2nd spot. Really the top few positions. Clint Fletcher loving what he's seeing. He is just reeling these guys in hand over fist. Brian Kennedy as well. Pavolano still just trying to hang on to 2nd and keep touch with these guys. Goes a little wide there. And here comes Clint Fletcher just out of nowhere. He's gained 2 seconds. And it's 4 cars up here under a blanket trying to get the lead. Clint Fletcher is flying right now. He's got to be careful he doesn't burn his stuff up. But how about Brian Kennedy? At one point, he was 5 seconds back. Now under 3. What a battle in race 2. We saw it in race 1. Look at this. 3 wide for the lead. DeKusher down low. Poblano in the middle. DeKusher will take the top spot there. Here comes Clint Fletcher. He'll look for 3rd. Into the braking zone, deep right there. Almost catches Jesse Brannon. He's got to make quick work. He knows DeKusher's fast. That 5 car now with the clean air could be difficult to track back down. 13 minutes left in this race. I'm glad we decided to have the broadcast. There was potential for us not to broadcast tonight if there wasn't enough turnout, and we just passed that threshold. But it has been some exciting battling going on tonight at Silverstone. Boucher, who's found himself out front a lot of this evening. Can he hang on here in race 2 and get the sprint race win? Very impressive from Jesse Brannon, who, remember, finished last in race 1. He's holding off Clint Fletcher for the moment into the braking zone there. Fletcher showed the nose, and here he is now alongside to try and cut back. That has allowed Brian Kennedy to close right up. He is there now. Started 10th, running in 5th, right in front of him. Clint Fletcher, biggest mover, started 11th, running in 4th. Jonathan DeKusher up from 9th to 1st. Actually, he is the biggest mover. And Fletcher and Kennedy, looks like Clint Fletcher could get that spot here on this stretch. Brandon under fire. He's not going to be able to hold him off here down into the S's. Actually goes a little bit wide through those corners. And he will lose the spot to Clint Fletcher. Here comes Brian Kennedy closing in. Further back, a change of position may have been Mike Nickham actually going on to pit road. He has got that right side damage. As Brannon going to lose the spot to Brian Kennedy, but here he comes trying to power back to the right, not going to be able to get there. So Brian Kennedy up to 4th. And the top 4 that we saw in the last race now back into the top 4. In this one, took them a few laps though. And definitely a bit more jumbled up than it was before. How about Poblano, though, showing quite a bit more speed than he was in race number 1. He's really in the thick of it here. Couple corners he's still working on that he just can't keep up with DeKusher, but a couple where he's a little bit faster, seems a little bit better on the brakes at some points, but overshoots it right there. That's going to cost him quite a bit of time. Tries to recover here. Compared to his pace from last race, he's picked it up about 7/10. All eyes on Clint Fletcher and Brian Kennedy. They were so good in race 1 at this point forward. See what they can do. They've had to push extremely hard, really just caught in the middle of everything. Boucher made so much ground early on and hasn't had to struggle pushing the tires, pushing the car as much. Got a nice lead right now, 1.2 seconds, very familiar position. Don't count out 3rd and 4th place though. Clint Fletcher definitely, I think, the quickest car out here tonight. Kennedy right there with him in terms of pace. Jesse Brannon doing a fantastic job in race 2 in 5th position. Farther back, Scott Kim trying to hold off Justin Craig. Getting the lights flashed at him here in the Kirby machine. Those positions will change hands right there. Justin Craig up to 7th, right where he started. Lost some ground early on. I give it to Scott Kim, though. He definitely picked it up in this race. In terms of pace, he's very, really not too far off here. I mean, a 2:13.2. Very competitive time there. 12.5 seconds back. Dean Tulien trying to recover from his initial problem there on the start. Not anything of his doing. Wrong place, wrong time right there. Taking a look at lap times, Clint Fletcher and Brian Kennedy, fastest cars on the racetrack by about 3 or 4 tenths over Jonathan DeCoucher. Not sure if it's going to be enough, though. They'll have to pick it up even further. That 5 car seems to really fall off at the tail end of a run. Abalano and Fletcher, they seem to run some of their best laps at this point in the run. They're all pretty evenly spaced out, but Abalano actually gained a little bit of time on this lap, so he's starting to pull back the 5 car. He was about 1.2 seconds behind the previous lap. He's just a few sections of this track, that BMW just not quite handling how Abalano needs it. He loses a lot through that section, actually, and that has allowed Clint Fletcher to close up and pull a little bit of a toe on the straightaway here, where that Mercedes has been so good. And you know DeCoucher is going to start to sweat here if he sees that 69 get by the 8 machine. Ryan Kennedy is not really keeping up as well with Clint Fletcher as he did in the first race. He's still gaining on DeCoucher, not by a ton. Could very well be in the thick of things come the final lap. Across the stripe this time at 2:11.16. For DeCoucher, Abalano lost about 9/10 that time. Clint Fletcher 2:11.09, so just a bit quicker. Got in the margin under 2 seconds as Brian Kennedy pushing hard behind him. 2:11.36, not quite fast enough to gain on the race leader. Now Clint Fletcher trying to set up the pass for second. Can't waste a lot of time here. He's got to get through. He'll have a good opportunity possibly this next corner. He is right on the bumper here. And he is going to peek out driver's left. Sends it down into the corner in the braking zone. Abalano fights on the outside. Just not able to get that car pointed. And there goes Clint Fletcher now to second, and that is exactly what he needed, a clean, quick pass. Now can he track down DeCoucher? Question is, can Abalano try and fight back for second? He's still right there. Brian Kennedy's closed up once again. He could get back on the podium here. Plenty of time to do that. He's not far behind. So tough when you're at the back of a 3-car group like this. All that dirty air just poured right on your car. Clint Fletcher a little bit cleaner air. Can he hit his marks? Slow the car up with the gears right there. Starting to wheel that thing. These cars, the Mercedes sound the most like a muscle car. I think they've got the most muscle under the hood, too. Let's see what the times are across the stripe. Pretty even between those drivers. But remember, Clint Fletcher did have to make the pass that lap. He'll have, I think, 3 more to go in this one. Tries to close that gap up. Gonna have to be about 6.5 tenths quicker to be there at the end. Just don't even know if he can run that fast. DeKuscher's picked it up here. He's running very consistent, clean laps, low 211s. Here's the battle for third. Pabolano, defensive line. Brian Kennedy tries to go to the outside here. Trying to set him up for the exit of this corner. Gets back to driver's right. Can't get to the throttle quick enough. Pabolano holds on for that corner there. Onto a short straightaway here, though. That'll be a good stretch for the Mercedes. Farther back, Scott Kim, Dean Tulien. Got with a couple of issues here. I think the last couple laps he's lost a lot of time. We've got some fog that's rolling in at the racetrack now, so that's a little bit of a wild card. Tulien takes the spot. Here comes Scott trying to fight back, though. Back on the throttle, the battle for 8th position. They're still side by side trying to settle it out. Got Kim able to clear there. He'll take the spot further up. Battle for third. Brian Kennedy, Michael Pabolano side by side. And the Mercedes able to get back to the throttle. Brian Kennedy take the podium spot back. Brian Kennedy, though, late in the braking zone, tries to get back alongside, can't do it. He'll slide back to 4th, right where he finished race number 1. Across the stripe that time, it was 4 tenths quicker for Clint Fletcher. His best lap of the race. Kusher a 2:11.34, a 2:10.92 for Clint. Ryan Kennedy a 2:12.1, so he is not quite as quick as those top two in this one. Could have a nice solid podium finish, though. Two laps remaining for Jonathan DeKuscher to take a sprint race win. Clint Fletcher already winner of race 1. Trying to sweep the sprint races tonight. And he is definitely pushing hard right now. Gotten away from 3rd and 4th. No pressure from behind. And Dean Tulien and Scott Kim, these guys fighting for it back here. This battle will not quit. 8th and 9th. Every point counts. I wouldn't count out Michael Pabolano to try and get back on the podium here before it's all said and done. Out in front, Clint Fletcher. He is definitely wheeling that number 69. Not quite in the toe yet, but he'll get a tiny hint of draft on the straightaway, and you can see he knocks off a whole 1/10 and a half on this long stretch here, but it's just going to be a little bit too much to overcome, I think. Getting too slowed up early on in this race. He's definitely got the pace here at the end. Have to have the lap of his life. Coming back to the white flag. This time, Jonathan DeKuscher on board with him. 1.5 seconds the difference between those two, and Clint Fletcher really just about 3 tenths quicker each lap. We have a problem from Jakub Bielak, possibly. No, he's all good. All good there. The battle for the win, though. DeKuscher out in front. Still one mistake. One tire stepped wrong. And that margin disappears. It's a 1.5 seconds still. Brian Kennedy matching lap times with the top two, so he's securely in this 3rd position now, about a second in front of Pabolano. Oh, he sends it in deep right there, does Pabolano. Wow, that was a wish and a hope right there. He was never going to make that corner at that speed. Just trying to maybe scare Brian Kennedy into a mistake. as looks like about a half lap remaining in this one. DeKusher out in front. Still 1.3 seconds the difference there. Top four working their way through the S's here, headed towards that long back straightaway. Clint Fletcher pushing that race car hard. He is trying to get lined up perfectly for this stretch here. Close up as much as he can and maybe just go full send into the braking zone and gain a couple tenths here. And just try and get himself an opportunity. I think it's just too much though. Did just that. DeKusher, a little conservative in that section. It's 1.1 seconds. But not enough corners left in this one to make up that kind of a distance. Here comes DeKusher for his first career sprint race win through the final corner. And he will win sprint race number 2. Clint Fletcher second, Brian Kennedy on the podium. And Michael Pavolano, he'll finish 4th in both races here. Great job by him to race it up with those guys. Jesse Brannon starting on the pole here in race 2. He'll hang on for 5th. Justin Craig 6th. Yakov Bielek will come home in 7th. Dean Tulin and Scott Kim will watch this battle through to completion here. They're trading spots 8th and 9th. Scott Kim takes it back. Dean Tulin, can he get that position? They've got a few more corners here. Go deep on the braking zone. The 84 with a bit of damage, though. He's struggled here. Certain points on this racetrack. Sends it in deep. Trying to set himself up. Not going to be close enough. Scott Kim will hang on for 8th. Dean Tulin 9th. Alan Crocker a ways back here. He should come home in the 10th position. And Mike Nickham in 11th. So Jonathan DeKusher. Get a visual on his car here. Race winner tonight from Silverstone in sprint race number 2. See if we can pull him into the booth here. Jonathan, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
How's it going?
Hey man, an eventful night for you here. You led a lot of race 1. You end up on the podium in that one. And you had to work your way all the way from the back of the field in this second race. And you're able to drive through and hang on to it there and get a sprint race win tonight. How's it feel to have a couple successful races?
That feels great to finally be on top of the podium. Those Mercs tonight had some speed to them, so I think a couple more laps it might have been a little different, but worked out good for me.
Yeah, we saw you were really fast in the first few laps of a race, and then those guys would start to slowly reel you in. Was it just something with the balance of the race car? Would you start to lose the tires or something, or what was going on there?
I'd start losing the fronts. I just overdriving the car a little bit, so I think the last 5 or 6 laps of this last race, I just shut all the deltas off and just looked ahead of me and stopped worrying about what's going on behind me.
Yeah, sometimes that is definitely the way to go, and definitely worked for you here in race number 2. You win by 1.1 seconds. You lead 8 laps after starting back in 9th. We go to Knock Hill next week. Do you think you'll be there, and do you have any experience at that track?
I'll definitely be there, and I'll have a few laps after I purchase it.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with it myself, but well, best of luck out there. We're not going to be broadcasting that one, so good luck to you next week. But anybody you want to give a shout out to for the win in sprint race number 2 tonight?
I give a shout out to the boys back at Red Tail Racing. We're going to hook up with them soon and run some more laps here.
Awesome, Jonathan. Well, congrats on the win and the podium finish in race 1, and catch you in a few weeks when we're back.
Thank you, and great race by the guys behind me too. Man, they're fast.
Yeah, it was a fun one to watch for sure. That was a good one. So congrats on the victory and holding them off.
All right, take care.
Go to second place now, Clint Fletcher, who's also a sprint race winner here tonight. We'll pull him into the booth. Clint Fletcher, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
Hello.
Hey man, you get the sprint race win in race 1, and you tried tracking down Jonathan there in race 2. Just not enough laps left. But man, what a race! What a night for you here. Just go through race number 2, working through the field, and what that was like.
So race 2, I think if I got past, I think Yakov and Scott lap 1, I think I could have had more, like you said, more laps to catch. Who was it, John? But I don't know. I just been practicing all week, and then I actually did a write-up for this group on this track with each car. So a lot of testing, and I just think everything worked out in my favor this week. So definitely practice makes perfect.
Yeah, you definitely had the speed, and you and Brian there really pushing hard in the beginning of race number 1. That was fun to watch too. You're tucked in behind him using a little bump draft, little tandem draft there.
On him, no fight. Let's just go catch John. So work as a team.
It definitely worked out for you. You made the move in the late stages of that one, got the win, and second place here in race 2. Go to Knock Hill next week. How do you feel about going out there?
That is a very short course, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, we had a little small field here, big track tonight, but man, it was exciting racing, and great job from you here. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just of course the BMW guys at CCA for putting this on even in the summer. I know summer they said is less busy, but the fact that they put a schedule together for us is just awesome. So shout out to the BMW club.
Awesome, man. Well, congrats on great finishes here tonight and putting on an awesome performance for us to watch. I'm sure you'll enjoy going back and watching it yourself. But congrats again, and we'll catch you in a few weeks when we're back for the broadcast. I believe Brands Hatch when we'll be back with you guys.
Awesome. Thanks again for all the broadcast.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you. That is Clint Fletcher, second place finisher. We're going to go now to third place, Brian Kennedy. Pull him to the booth. Brian, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I copy.
Hey, man, really good set of races for you. You finished second in race 1, third in race number 2. Just run us through your night here and what you were feeling in that brand new Mercedes.
Yeah, I got the new Mercedes. It's a blast to drive. It's kind of tail happy. It doesn't have the same traction control and stability control that the BMW has, so you can really let it loose. Definitely more of a workout though. A lot of corrections, and yeah, I mean, Clint and John were, super fast, and really just had to try to wait for them to make a mistake, and I think I got them both in race 1, but then I made a mistake, and Clint took advantage and got around me at the end there, and never quite had enough pace to catch him in the second race. So yeah, congrats to Clint on his first win, the first racer, and I think it was his first win in this league. So.
Yeah, definitely exciting stuff from you guys. You were kind of nose to tail there. He was pushing you along as you guys were both tracking down Jonathan there. Very fun. We had kind of a smaller field tonight, but you guys kept it very exciting up there at the front here.
Yeah, super close. I was surprised. Just the whole race.
Yeah, and it was kind of interesting to see the fall off on the Porsche versus the handling on the Mercedes and the straight line speed too. You guys had kind of the different balances kind of worked out so that it would all come together at the end race. So really, really fun and exciting stuff. We do go to Knock Hill next week. How do you feel about going out there?
I gotta buy it. So, no opinion yet. I've heard it's narrow and got some tough turns. So yeah, should be interesting one to learn. Should be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it as well. But man, great races tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yep, shout out to Team Gasburn, who's my team. Yakov was representing tonight as well, and Jesse, Dean. And then, of course, Scott, admin, and then sponsors, Beltway Brewing and SEO Mike.
Awesome, Brian. Well, congrats on great runs here tonight. Good luck next week and the following week. We'll be back with you guys at Brands Hatch in a few weeks. So, best of luck in those, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, third place finisher Brian Kennedy, and we are going to pull in... Gonna give, really all those guys are drivers of the day. Michael Pabolano, we already talked to him. So I think we'll call it their small field tonight. Those three at the front really deserve driver of the day. All of them very fantastic finishes. But ultimately, race winner in sprint race number 2, Jonathan DeKucher. And winner in race number 1, that was Clint Fletcher. So both of those guys winners here tonight. Their first wins in the league. So congrats to both of them. Let's go through the rest of the results here tonight. Head on out for the evening. One lead change in this second race. DeKusher taking it away from, that was Jesse Brannon, who had a very good start to this one. Started on the pole in race 2. And ended up with a top 5 finish. DeKusher takes the win in race 2. Clint Fletcher 2nd. Brian Kennedy 3rd. 4th, Mike Pavolano 5th. Jesse Brannon 6th. Justin Craig 7th. Yakov Bielik 8th. Scott Kim 9th. Dean Tulin. And rounding out the top 10, Callan Crocker. Mike Nickum takes it home in the 11th position here tonight from Silverstone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be off for the next 2 weeks with this league on Thursday nights, and then we'll be back in a few weeks at Brands Hatch. Looking forward to that one. That's a track I know fairly well, and could be very exciting racing out there. But thanks to everybody who helps put this on, the league, the sponsors, and hope you enjoyed the race tonight. We'll be back next Tuesday with the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series season finale from Homestead in the NASCAR Next Gen Cup cars. So tune in for that one. That's going to be a ton of fun. The setup and the driving is going to be crazy in that race, and it is all coming to a head between Seth Hatchell and Zach Carr for the championship. Tune in then for that one. Till next time, have a great night and enjoy the beautiful summer weather.